Welcome aboard Azimut's Fly 62, a modern flybridge with a surprise on the stern. Measuring 19.22 meters, this yacht proposes a more seawardly oriented lifestyle, as much fun on weekends away as it is comforting on longer cruises. And with 3 heads, 3 cabins, and an unprecedentedly flexible layout, this yacht is perfect for families. Let's begin our tour on the stern, so you don't have to hold your breath too long for that surprise I promised. And here it is, the most innovative feature on board, the Beach Cockpit. What appears at first glance to be a typical counter-facing sofa for the cockpit is actually an incredibly advanced transforming mechanism developed and patented by Azimut. The Beach Cockpit lowers this sofa and transforms it into a sunbed under the open sky and almost at water level. This is a perfect example of how Azimut uses tech to create design solutions that actually bring us closer to nature. The other option that owners have in configuring this incredible aft deck space is called the Grand Terrace. It allows them to have the same furniture in the forepart, and then here aft you have space for freestanding furniture and a transparent barrier, so all of the guests can see right down to the waves. With the Grand Terrace, the transom area, which no longer needs to contain the mechanism for the beach cockpit, becomes available for storage. Whichever layout the owner chooses for the aft deck, a dining area outdoors is a necessity. Here, you can be sure to eat outdoors as often as you like. And it's not only this informal configuration that's offered. This is a high-low table, and as you can see, it expands in order to seat all 6 overnight guests, and more with freestanding furniture. It's present in both of the layout options for the aft deck, and it's a lovely, comfortable, and versatile dining area. Now, before we move on to the next area, a note about storage. There's certainly a lot of places to keep things like covers and cleaning supplies under the dinette seating. However, here we have an additional triangle of space, plus a rather large refrigerator, and a very interesting accent on the fiberglass, which is a first hint at the beautiful interior design we will now discover. After that is, we've seen the Flybridge, and a nice tray here to keep your belongings without risk of sliding off. The Flybridge is just one of the many spaces on board that shatter the illusion of such a sleek vessel created by the exterior lines by Alberto Mancini. It's actually a very impressive job that he's done with this craft, moving the needle forward, because it's the first Azimut Flybridge that starts to tend away from the sport wagon design of the past towards the sport back SUV DNA that he's now integrating. And we see it everywhere. The volumes are moving forward and the lines are a lot more robust. Here, that gives us space on the aft part of the Flybridge to have plenty of freestanding furniture to set up a lounge or whatever the guests like to have here. Moving forward, we come to the dining area with a bar across the way. With all the space the Fly offers, there's no need to make this table transformable. It's full size and it has space to host all of your guests around. And one more detail that you may remember from the Fly 72 is the incredible inox varnish on the legs. And it's all served by your exterior bar. I'm of course very proud of this one because of how well it's equipped. You have here your storage, plenty of it. You have your fridge, and my personal favorite, never get tired of saying that, the grill. Look at that. And additional storage space, sink. It is a wet bar, and that brings us to the forepart of the Flybridge with our sunbathing and our Helm station. Really, the Fly of the Fly 62 offers you 3 distinct zones. And here at the forepart, we have the one that's the most fun to be in while you're underway, because you have your driver's seat, your co-pilot, and to keep them company, plenty of sunbathing, which has headrests both for facing back towards the yacht and being more conversational with the drivers, or facing forward, thanks to this little backrest here. So in that way, it becomes the most pleasant place to stay while you're making way. The Flybridge, after all, is the panoramic deck. And there's an electric mechanism built into the carbon fiber hardtop that allows us to unveil this entire area and choose between having a sunbathing area here or enjoying the shelter of a nice cover above. Most of the time, you'll be enjoying cruising at the external helm. So a very modern design here. I love it with the natural wood, the minimalist white ring, and access to your electronic system, the full suite of controls, bow thruster, and even your joystick over there on the right side. This is one of those places that reminds you what yachting is really about mixing the performance aspect with the lifestyle, and always in a beautiful place. Now let's make our way back downstairs and have a look at the interior design. Stepping across the threshold into the main saloon, we enter the world of Fabio Fantolini. Here, we can see how he's built on his first project with the shipyard, the Fly 72, continuing to cultivate harmonious and natural feeling environments with a color palette of beiges and grays. Additionally, openness is incredibly important to the design of this yacht. Look at how this window, nearly full height, transforms the dinette area. With space to comfortably seat all 6 overnight guests, you have an expandable high-low table here, which is as adapted for cocktails as well suited to full dining experiences, when weather, of course, does not permit you to dine outdoors. And always with the incredible view, thanks also to the cutout in the bulwarks. Careful observers will note that the bronze tone here matches the finish that we've just seen on the cockpit fridge. You see, the way that he places the artificial lights is intentionally not to block any of the light transmission through the large windows, favoring instead these smaller, more integrated lights that don't hang down or obscure the views or the natural light coming in. While positioning the dinette across from the galley offers perfect convenience, on a yacht with a more delineated design between the guest and service areas, it can be a bit awkward having them so close together. The Fly 62, however, thanks to Fabio Fantolini, does not have this problem. You can see that the design, in addition to being homey, cozy, and warm, also shares certain elements with the rest of the main deck. Here, you can already begin to see that it's outfitted for a truly live-at-sea experience. This beautiful integrated fridge, for example, would be at place in a home. Plenty of space inside, a freezer compartment above, and down below, even more storage. So much storage for all the things you need to prepare your food, to serve, top-of-the-line Miele appliances for maximum efficiency and durability. And the galley is rounded off by your sink, utensil storage, and even more space here on the forepart. The central location of this food preparation area is a signal of the central role of hosting on board the Fly 62. You can see how a chef in the family would feel so comfortable surrounded by all of their closest companions. It's important to note that for those who prefer to have a crew cooking, and there is a crew cabin which we'll show you soon, it's possible to have the galley closed off with a semi-transparent barrier. A combination of wood slats and plexiglass allows light to travel through, and thanks to the opening section of the window, airflow will never be a problem. Now let's make our way to the lounge. Making our way all the way to the forepart of the main deck, we see that Fantolini's design promises hold true. The beautiful wooden ribbing that was characteristic of the galley has been brought here to the cabinetry. You can see the game of contrast continues between, for example, the soft, voluptuous shapes of the cushions and the structured rectangular shapes in the architecture. These are just some of the ways that the design on board is profoundly balanced. In addition to their attractive appearance and irresistible comfort, each cushion in the main salon also hides away an impressive amount of storage. Look at that, plenty of room for all of the things you'll want to keep close by in your living room at sea. Now, let's speak a bit about the technical aspects of this yacht at the helm. helm station of the Fly 62 is unmistakably modern. Just have a look at this steering wheel. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's designed well matched with the one upstairs on the Fly. And the whole helm station is built around the Volvo IPS propulsion. Now on board we have the 1200 model with 900 horsepower, but optionally you can configure the 1350 for 1000 horsepower and a top speed of 32 knots. Being that we've gone with the Volvo IPS propulsion, the screens and all the electronics are managed by Garmin for perfect integration, which means all of our engine readings can be viewed here directly in front of us, without the need for additional screens that clutter what should be a modern, clean display. And of course, with IPS comes the maneuvering joystick, which gives us the power to control our autopilot more easily than ever before, and to maneuver in the marina or other close quarters scenarios where low speed and high precision are necessary. The IPS system, compared with shaft line, gives us more efficiency at the high end of our speed range at planing speeds and above, and we're going to be turning and enjoying the maneuverability of this yacht with a bit more responsiveness. In addition to the engines, all of the other systems on board are integrated into your displays. So here we can keep track of all of our tank levels, we can check the water, the fuel, and manage things like generators, pumps, electricity. It's all available here in the main screens. Seakeeper as well. Additionally, we have a bow thruster supplementing our IPS engines for tight maneuver. That's an extra help, especially in windy conditions. Now, there's one more benefit of the IPS system that we'll have to go and see on the lower deck. Because it's a more compact engine type, it allows us to expand the guest quarters significantly. Let's have a look. We can't make our way to the master cabin without passing by the day head and our specially fitted storage for your combo washer-dryer machine. Studio Fantolini outfitted the master cabin aboard the Fly 62 for maximum comfort. Looking around, we can see just what that means. Many of the same tones that we recognize from the main deck have been brought down below, but also something new. Having a look at the cabinetry, this chest of drawers, which contains an incredible amount of storage space wrapped in a beautiful, deep color that pulls away a bit from the light, neutral palette that we've seen so far. Then you have a seating area and a hidden TV all across from your queen-sized bed. And one of the details I really appreciate here is how the headboard cushioning has been extended to the full length of the cabin. This allows us to feel that comfort bleeding over from the bed into the rest of the room. And there's a few drawers and other types of storage here that I have to show you up close because they're so innovative. En suite, the owner has both a very ample closet behind me with plenty of room for hanging things and also for tucking things away in little cubbies, and an ensuite bathroom. Going a bit more into detail on the storage, there's actually a hidden compartment under this seat, and all of these drawers open quite nicely, just where you need them, where there's plenty of space to get dressed in the morning. And it's worth mentioning that there's a hidden TV above as well, so the couple can watch TV directly from bed. The VIP cabin, located in the bow, is a perfect example of how Fantolini creates harmonious spaces by matching the area available with what each guest needs. And here, the VIP guest has absolutely everything. A cozy bed area surrounded by personal storage, symmetrical closets, in addition to an ensuite bathroom. And there's even more storage under the bed, which is especially well suited to large items like suitcases. So you truly have everything you need here, and there's still one cabin left to see, the double. The double cabin is our third and final stop on the lower deck, and it's probably where the youngest guests on board will be staying. But fear not, there's plenty of storage behind me and in the full height wardrobe by the entrance, and you have a nice long window to let in plenty of natural light. Together with the light colored materials, it helps with the perception of space. Plus, for nighttime use, you have easy access to the dayhead across the hall. Not bad. Azimut's Fly 62 is the only yacht in the category which features the entrance to the crew cabins here on the side deck, and it has a couple of advantages. First, because the crew cabin is positioned between the master cabin and the engine room, it means that the guest quarters are more insulated from noise and vibration, especially important during overnight crossings. Second, this is an excellent step forward for privacy in the category because the crew can make their way to the bow and to the stern for all the operations necessary to maneuver the boat without going through any of the guest areas. The bow lounge gives us one more time to appreciate the design innovation on board the Fly 62. There's plenty of space for a long sofa, which faces a counter-facing row of seating that actually folds down to become an extension of the sunbathing, so you can have it both ways, conversational and social, or a sunbathing lounge. And with optional shade from the bimini that can be supported by carbon fiber poles, you can truly control the environment here on the bow lounge, which is good news because with such panoramic views so close to the water, another theme of the Fly 62, it's a place that just makes people happy to stay in. Whether you're cruising with friends, relaxing with family, or looking for a getaway from both groups of people, the Fly 62 has the flexibility to create the perfect setting, and always with proximity to the water at the forefront of every design decision, from the beach cockpit that we've seen to the incredible windows on the deck house and even on the Flybridge. So, if you have the chance to get on board the Fly 62 from Azimut, make sure you don't miss it.